Hi, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. What the hell are you complaining about? Let's talk about it.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
You know, I realize that people that don't live here, that don't reside in the Philippines, and visitors, tourists, get frustrated. And then I also realize that people that do live here and do reside here full time, like Arlen and I, get frustrated. But then I started thinking for a minute because I was watching some self entitled, I mean, you know, the piece of shit as I was making another video yesterday and this morning. So I started thinking, what are we complaining about? Well, we're always complaining and frustrated about the way things are. And then I started thinking, hold on a minute. And two things. Number one, comment if you're old enough to recognize some of these items. And were you as frustrated then as you are now? And then number two, please do subscribe. Do hit that thumbs up. We would really appreciate it. Now, first off, when we first moved, when I first moved to the United States as a child, as a teenager, okay? Hang on. That just tipped over. Okay. We didn't have air conditioning. In fact, in our first home that we had in the United States as a kid, as a teenager, we not only didn't have air conditioning, we thought we were like really moving on up when after the first or second summer that I was there, my father put in what was called an attic fan, which essentially sucked air from outside in. Okay, it's kind of like a reverse situation. My parents didn't get air conditioning, central air conditioning in their home until after shit. I think it was the year I started my undergraduate work. Going to the bank. You always went to the bank. The first couple of jobs I had as a teenager were menial, grocery store, bagging groceries, stocking shelves. I worked in a sandwich ice cream store, the whole list of kid shit. You got a paycheck. There was no automatic deposit into your bank account. In fact, it wasn't until I had a part-time job and I think I was a junior in undergraduate school before I had a job that actually had automatic deposit of payroll. Okay? We had to go to the bank, fill out a deposit slip, and deposit it. And then you had to wait a couple of days for it to clear. Debit cards. My first debit card had a $20 withdrawal. That was all I could get at a time. $20 once a day, one withdrawal a day. I then went to the bank one day when I was depositing a check and said, "Hey, can we do something about this?" And they said, "Sure. You know what? We can give you a maximum of $80. We can give you $80." And it stayed like that for years. I don't know when I got a debit card that had, like a $200 or $300 or $400 limit to get from the ATM. And there was a fee for using the ATM. and there was a fee for using an ATM out of their network. So, and their network wasn't that big. And I was with one of the largest banks in North Carolina at the time. So, now I think, had I been one of those wealthy bastards that had a ton of money in the bank, my ATM fee would have not been there, but I would have still probably gotten that ATM charge. What else is going along with all of this? Well, the internet, it didn't fucking exist. It did not exist. I remember, okay, I was already out of undergraduate school when I got a computer, Radio Shack, Tandy, whatever. I think I had a 600 baud modem. And it took me, my first downloaded porn picture, not a movie, a picture, took about 25 minutes. I remember that. And it was like this big, didn't take up the whole screen. It was like, man, this is kind of worthless. No internet to look shit up. Nothing at all. And when we did get internet, for years and years, I'm talking about until into the early 90s, internet was spotty. I mean, sometimes it would work good. Sometimes it wouldn't work at all. Sometimes it was deadly slow. And then you spent forever on hold with customer service. Forever. What else was different? What other frustrations did we pick? Oh, you know what? Now, granted, this is further on down the line. In the U.S., we could get groceries delivered. Safeway, Albertsons, Walmart. We never used Target. They were further away. You just go online, click that shit. They deliver it to your door. All right. Amazon didn't even exist. Don't even think about that. All right. But we had to go to the grocery store. And the lines at the grocery store, it was all mechanical. And if you went during the wrong time, they were long and you waited. Sort of like going to the grocery store here, isn't it? When you go to Hypermart or some of the other places. My point with all of this is have we gotten so soft? Are we so entitled? Are we so spoiled that we think less than what we feel we're entitled to from what we came from is negative? Because that's what happens is lately we've done a couple of videos that have had amazing responses and views. And we've gotten a ton of comments on them and a ton of comments on other ones. And we read every comment. We can't respond to every comment unless it needs to be responded to. But when you see that little heart, that means we read it. With that being said, there's a lot of negativity, I can remember when going to the Department of Motor Vehicles was a half a day event. I can remember going to get my first driver's license. We got there at like 9:30 in the morning, and I could hear my father bitch nonstop all the way home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I was happy as a pig in shit because I had a driver's license. He was not happy. Okay? I can remember all of these different things, all of the things that people tend to be frustrated with here. Now, sure, there are other things. You may be frustrated with the legal system. You may be frustrated with this system, with that system. You know what? I can't give you much. There's nothing I can say about it. I can tell you this. You know what? We hire professionals when we do legal work, when we do titling work, when we do any kind of local government type registration things. And when I say we hire legal, professionals, I mean, mostly I'm talking about legal, okay? But otherwise, we go step by step, just like every fucking other average Filipino has to do. And you know what? We don't have a problem. We went to LTO, no fixers, got our physicals, took the written. Actually, no, we didn't have to take anything. Our Lynn's U.S. driver's license was still valid. My U.S. driver's license was still valid. Now, when we got the scooter, we had to go to the scooter stuff. But you go step by step by step, just like every other average Filipino. Nobody's just jumping your crap because you're a foreigner. The Philippines is where America was 60 years ago, maybe more, maybe less. I mean, it depends on what part of technology you're looking at. All right. Not 60 years ago, 40 years ago, maybe 30, but you get the general idea. All right. I don't know why people complain about the Philippines and about the hierarchy and the feudal type of atmosphere when it comes to getting things done. You know what? If you didn't know it before you came here, that's your fault. You should have recognized it. If you want to compare it to other countries, well, that's great. Some of them advance much further. If I had to compare Thailand to the U.S., I would say Thailand's in the dark ages when it comes to a lot of different things. Granted, they're in the modern age when it comes to others. It's all a matter of perspective. But my point with all of this is, have we become so soft that we're complaining? We didn't get food delivery. I couldn't pick up the phone. Domino's didn't fucking exist. All right? Shakey's Pizza and Pizza Hut were the big pizza chains when I was in high school and college. Right? Within driving distance of our home, and you had to drive, was McDonald's and Hardee's. We didn't have Chick-fil-A back then. Not yet. All right? Or at least not in our area. We didn't have Krispy Kreme. Well, we did have Krispy Kreme. The original Krispy Kreme factory was 20 miles down the road from our home, my childhood home in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the only counter service for Krispy Kreme donuts was actually in Charlotte. And I remember that. But you do see my point. I mean, you can't help but see it. So in the comments below, tell me, what do you think? Have we gotten so soft we're willing to complain about anything? Is that really what it is? Are we complaining about things that we have no control over? Because I don't remember complaining other than being on hold with customer service. I complained about that a lot because, quite frankly, my ear would get all wet and sweaty and everything else. But other than that, that's just the way life was as we knew it. So what do you think about that? Tell us in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks. Have a great day.